Hi, I am Alex Hopkins, your on-air producer for Connect and Collaborate. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today and all week, we are talking aerospace. Monday, we had Aerospace Day at the Capitol. It was fantastic. We actually were excited. We got a proclamation from the governor to say that the third Monday in March every year from now until forever, whereas that it is Aerospace Day at the Colorado State Capitol. And I am excited today to have Mary Serafin from Sierra Nevada Corporation, and I have Krystal Scordo from Ball Aerospace. And these ladies are here to talk about the Colorado Space Business Roundtable with me. How are you ladies doing today?
Yes, doing all right. Thank you. Doing good. Excited to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Yes, of course. Our pleasure. We're very excited to talk aerospace. It's one of the many industries that we get to cover here at the Colorado Business Roundtable. And this week in particular, as I mentioned, we had the proclamation from the governor. I know that Jay Lindell, who was on earlier, he sent that out today to everybody, the verbiage, right?
He proclaimed the proclamation to everyone.
That's right.
Did he pull like a Michael Scott from The Office?
Yeah, there you go.
It is proclaimed Aerospace Day.
Pretty much.
Forever. Yeah.
When Jay proclaims, people listen.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. He's a champion.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Best title ever, right?
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
One
You can't
day.
beat that
One
title.
day.
Yeah.
I
We all
did-
have goals.
I asked him if I could be his assistant champion, but he's not looking for one. So.
Oh, darn.
I know. It was like, you let me know when that opens
Yeah,
up, because I
yeah.
am ready. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Mary. How long have you been with Sierra Nevada?
Yeah. So I've been with Sierra Nevada Corporation for 6 years now. So I'm actually in their marketing and communications department, which is a lot of fun. I get to talk a little bit about all of the different programs that they have going on in their space division here in Louisville. And the biggest program that they have is Dream Chaser, which is kind of the next generation spacecraft, aiming to get to the space station in 2020, and has lots of other capabilities, but it's a pretty fun program, and so it kind of definitely keeps us engaged and busy all the time, but it's all good things. So
Yes, and I actually just heard, I talked with Barry Hamilton yesterday, and he said that they were able to get that contract for Dream Chaser for you guys, right? At the Red Canyon Software.
Yeah, it's really great. We have a lot of good Colorado partners, specifically. I mean, it's easy to do since Colorado is such a good aerospace state, but we're definitely really proud to work with. There's a lot of good, strong companies, both in Colorado, across the country, and then also internationally as well. We work with a lot of international partners, suppliers, subcontractors, and customers, hopefully, too.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Well, thank you. And Krystal, so one of the things that I know about you, you're at Ball Aerospace now, but I kept sending you the wrong email address because I had one for Sierra Nevada for you. So you had a transition from Sierra Nevada to Ball Aerospace.
I did, yeah. So I began my aerospace career about 8 years ago now. And I started, interestingly enough, as a temp at Sierra Nevada Corporation. And 7 years later, I sort of worked my way up. I have a marketing communications background, so I started getting a little bit more involved in the marketing communications work and the aerospace division. And then when I left, I was in charge of all the marketing, PR, and media relations for the aerospace division. So it was an incredible opportunity, and I had so much fun working on Dream Chaser in particular. It's just such an incredible program, and what a great Colorado story. And actually, Mary used to work for me. She started as an intern, and then
She taught me everything I know.
Well, oh boy, poor Mary.
Well, some of it.
But yeah, so it's so exciting to still be so engaged in the in the aerospace community and be able to go to events like Aerospace Day at the Capitol and see all your friends and what everybody's doing and how they're transitioning in their careers. And it's such an incredible and such a small industry. And a term we like to use a lot is competimates within the industry, because there are times where we're competing for the same contracts, but then there are times where we're partnering because we're stronger together and we can leverage each other's strengths. And so it's just an amazing industry.
Absolutely. That's one thing that has definitely been a theme so far this week is the fact that collaboration is huge in this industry, especially in Colorado, right? We are
Huge.
#1 per capita in the nation for aerospace industry, #2 statewide, right? Like just as a state. And that's fascinating to me how much we work together. Throughout Colorado. So I did not know that you guys that you started under her as an intern. That's so exciting. And so even to see that, right?
It is.
And I'm sure they were sad to lose you and see you go to Ball Aerospace, but they get to work with you
quite
quite
a bit. Hard time about it, but
no, but you know what? And they've been, so supportive and management at SNC. I mean, Ball is an incredible company, and it's been such a great experience. And I've been able to take so much of the lessons learned that I had at SNC and now apply those to Ball Aerospace. And my focus now at Ball is employee communications. So I'm able to take some of the best practices from PR and try to implement that internally. And then through organizations like CSPR and CSE still stay engaged with the community and bring some of that industry focus internally too. So I always say I think I have the best job. I said it when I was at SNC, and now I have it at Ball Aerospace, and it's just an incredible, opportunity to be able to storytell. I mean, we get to take all the amazing, incredible work that our engineers and other people do, and we get to tell that story to the public. And I mean, what's better than that?
Oh, fantastic.
Absolutely. I think that's one thing that needs to be promoted more is that we have so many good engineers, and they're very humble. They're very humble, and they're like, no, this is just what I do on a day-to-day basis. And it's like, you're working on a satellite, you're working on a part that's going to Mars or going to the sun, or this has never been done before, but they're very humble about it. So I think it's kind of up to us to, pat them on the back and let them know that, you are doing cool stuff, and people want to hear about it. People want to know about it and be involved and engaged, and that's kind of what we're here to do.
Yeah, it literally is rocket science. It's incredible.
I think they underestimate themselves a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, one of the things that I have to do, right, I have to reach out to people all the time and ask them to come on, and so I always end up talking to the comms people anyway, right? And so it's kind of lovely to have you guys here and bring this perspective in, because you do this. You do the behind-the-scenes work of, telling them what to say and how to spin it and things like that, because let's face it.
No, they do that on their own.
Yes, of course. Yeah, no.
They never go to the technical stuff. They always give a good high-level overview of how cool this is.
Exactly. Because you're in that speak all day. That is what they do all day. Yeah. They talk like that all day. And so it's nice to get your perspective here. So the reason that we have you here, though, is to talk specifically about CSPR. That's the Colorado Space Business Roundtable. We're the Colorado Business Roundtable. We used to be separate entities, and lately we've weaved a lot together. So tell us about it. Give us a little background. Where did it start? Where are we at now? Whoever wants to start.
Yeah, so CSPR is an industry organization, but it's kind of a by the people, for the people as far as businesses goes. We, like Krystal said, you're always working together. You're always talking with the same people, whether you want to or not, as far as competitive meets goes. But CSPR is a really good way to get that group together and advocate for businesses, for business needs, for STEM education, and just really supporting the Colorado industry, growing it, whether it's, bringing companies in from out of state or starting up new companies within the state and giving them the support and the networking that they need. It's kind of a good organization for getting to know the industry better and know where you can go for help if you need any, how to get to your goals.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and CSPR specifically, we're really focused on the small to medium, sort of like what Mary mentioned, size companies. There's other organizations within the state that also do advocacy for the aerospace industry. So there's the Colorado Space Business Roundtable. That's typically a little more focused on the prime. So the larger companies like the Ball Aerospace, Lockheed Martin, Sierra Nevada corporations. CSPR, also works very closely with these organizations, but a mission of ours is really to support the smaller to mid-size aerospace companies. And an interesting fact that the Colorado Space Coalition puts out, it's more than 50% of Colorado aerospace companies employ 10 people or fewer. So, we're this incredibly, amazing, innovative industry in Colorado. And a lot of the companies are very small. You've got a lot of the very big, the primes, like I said, SNC, Ball Aerospace, Lockheed Martin are all here, and they employ many in the state. But then there's also a very big population that are embedded in these smaller companies. So CSPR is really trying to help represent those companies and then make, foster business-to-business opportunities.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, and what did I hear the other day? Something like 26,000 employees, I want to say, are involved in the aerospace industry, right?
Yeah, so that's directly.
Yeah.
And then indirectly, so other supporting, organizations sort of on the periphery of that, there's over 180,000 people within the state that touch aerospace.
Right. So if it's an electronics component that, can be used for cars or for trains or boats or aerospace, we kind of count that as well, because there's a lot of indirect impact for all those companies and business that comes to their door because of aerospace. So it's a pretty big group of people.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that most people forget. When you think aerospace, you immediately think of rocket launches, right? Most people do. I do. I'm not. I don't have an aerospace background. I don't know if that was clear, but I definitely don't. But when I think of aerospace, I think of rocket launches, right? And so I think of Florida. I think of California. I think of Texas. Coastal states, large states, right? I never ever would have thought Colorado would be that high in the aerospace industry, but it's so interesting to know how much we don't consider is a part of the industry, right? Manufacturing, huge in the aerospace side, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Now, is that something that you guys look at CSPR? Manufacturing companies at all?
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think there were a lot of representatives at the Colorado Aerospace Day yesterday, and they were showing up to say, hey, you might not think that we support you, but look at all the ways that we've supported you. One of them specifically is 3D printing. 3D printing and additive manufacturing are huge in the industry right now, and that's kind of something that's been, touched on by some other companies. But if we're ever going to live and survive in space, we're going to need, component XYZ on demand, and that's something that 3D printing can do for us, or even like biomedical 3D printing. How can we help us repair our bodies? And so there's just a lot of crazy work that's going on out there. And so 3D printing, while it doesn't have space or aerospace in the name, it's something that's a really big part. So I think there were a lot of representatives yesterday that were showing up to say, you might not see it directly, but this is how, we make an impact. So.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And one of our member companies, the 3D printing store, actually, they were featured on CBS News last night, talking about, the aerospace story. Deborah Wilcox is a CSPR board member, and she owns that company. And it's just incredible what they're doing. And, we have a goal as a nation to go to deep space. We want to send, people to Mars in their near future. And we're gonna need to be able to repair things in space. We're gonna need to fix the International Space Station. If there's a rendezvous point for another space station on the way to Mars, we're gonna need to be able to manufacture. So, like Mary's saying, we need these capabilities, and it starts here with the science and the technology that then we can leverage to help us explore, beyond Earth.
That's so awesome. I love
it.
That.
It's so cool.
Yeah, this I can totally nerd out over it for sure.
Us too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things that I definitely noticed at Aerospace Day, how many students there were, right? That was really fun.
Isn't that incredible to see?
Yeah, fresh eyes, and they're so excited, and they're getting into the industries. I ran into a lot more freshmen than I thought I would, actually.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We find that it's really good. You'll have a wide variety of students there. You'll have the freshmen who show up and say, I don't know what I want to do at all, but I like space. And so they're kind of there to feel, test the field and to see, whether it's electrical engineering or computer or, aerospace or mechanical. So they'll come to talk about that, and that's really exciting. But then you'll also have, the seniors or the grad students that saying, this is what I've learned so far. Where can this get me? What do you, and, looking for a job, career advice, and seeing, if they can, be a part of one of our communities, or, advice on where to go next. So it's really nice that to see them so engaged, and then to see the industry just jump right in and say, oh, no, don't ever take that class, or this is how you should be doing it, so it's really good to see that that engagement. And I think at events like the event yesterday, it was just very natural. Didn't have to force anyone anywhere. It was just a really good raw energy and support. So
Yeah, yesterday there were over 400 attendees at Aerospace Day at the Capitol throughout the day, and there were over 40 different organizations that exhibited. So they had tables there representing their specific organization, and it crossed all different types of businesses. There was academia, there was government, there was commercial, there was private companies. There were publicly traded companies like Ball Aerospace there. So it's just incredible to see the reach that this one industry has, and how it really engages all different types of backgrounds, all different skill levels. And for myself, I'm not an engineer by trade. I've been lucky enough to kind of fall into this industry, something that I really love and am now so passionate about. And that's what I would like to also share, is that you don't have to be an engineer to make an impact. There are so many different ways you can get involved. If you just love space, you can be in human resources, you can be in finance, you can be in contracts. I mean, contract negotiation is so important. It's critical to the missions that we do. So there's so many ways to be involved. If engineering isn't, if the math and sciences may not be your thing, like me.
Yeah, no, I second that. I'm totally with you. I'm in communications as well, right?
Yeah.
Journalism here. But I do really enjoy learning about aerospace, and I have to say, since I started at the Colorado Business Roundtable, I have gotten to know more and more about aerospace, and it's something that I'm passionate about now, right? It's amazing where we're headed, and I want people to be more excited, and I know that we're getting some things in legislation passed, right? Were you able to go see that yesterday on the Senate floor?
The panel?
Yes.
Was that panel not incredible?
I actually missed it.
Oh, no.
I'm so sad. So please, Alex, tell me. I had to man the booth. They left me at the booth all alone.
Well, someone's got to do it.
I know, it was me. But I got to hear it was amazing, right? And so the fact that the governor even signed the proclamation stands alone in showing how much Colorado needs aerospace.
Yeah, we're very fortunate in Colorado. We have a lot of different diverse industries. So Colorado, is very set up well for the future because we don't just rely on one industry. But when you're trying to advocate for one particular industry, it can be tough because there's a lot of noise out there, and there's a lot, a lot that you're competing against. And we've been doing Aerospace Day at the Capitol now for a couple of years, and this year having the proclamation, making every third Monday of March Aerospace Day is pretty incredible, and I really think it shows where we've come so far as an industry and the importance the governor, and our legislators are placing on the industry and the impact to Colorado. So I thought it was just so fun to have the proclamation read while we were all standing outside, and there was a drone taking some videos and photos, so that'll be coming out really soon. So it was just so fun to stand there, and it was just a good day to celebrate aerospace and get all your space friends together.
I know.
And not only was it a good, we don't have support just for that day, but and that proclamation was great, but now this is the first time that we've had a full aerospace week. So that's good. So we've got events, for the rest of this week in different cities, different organizations, like Krystal said, government, university, industry. So that's been really great to have enough content and excitement, and that we have a full week of aerospace celebration, and looking at both how far we've come and then where we're going in the future for aerospace. So
absolutely. And speaking of those events, I am going to plug a few of those. So we did have Aerospace Day at the Capitol yesterday. Today MSU is having their event. It was a recruiting event, I want to say.
Yes.
So yeah, that's focused on the education part of it, right?
Yep.
Tomorrow here at the Colorado Business Roundtable, and check out our events page at cobrt.com/events. And there you can find and sign up for this free event for Citizens for Space Exploration. So we will have Rob Oh no, I forgot it. Chambers. Excuse me. We will have Rob Chambers on with us tomorrow. He's actually going to be live on air at 4:30 on Connect and Collaborate, but he's going to be here, the speaker for the event for Citizens for Space Exploration. We're going to talk about the importance of aerospace in the industry, and we're going to educate the community and the business leaders on why it's so important. Thursday is CU Boulder's 3rd annual Aerospace Summit. So that will be exciting. And then on Friday, Campus Catalyst will be talking aerospace defense out in Colorado Springs. So it's exciting, right? This isn't just in the Front Range. It's not just in Denver. So
no, and that was a really big focus yesterday, that while the population is obviously in the Denver metro area, there's excitement from across the whole state and people wanting to get involved. And that's another thing that CSPR does to get the community involved is every year we do these aerospace road trips. And so it's kind of a group of industry people that goes around in a white van, and then they finger paint on the side, here we come, and, nerds get ready, stuff like that. So they've been doing it for the last 5 years, and they've made 8 road trips and a lot of different communities, the Grand Junctions and the Pueblos and a whole bunch of other cities you don't really hear about, and trying to get them engaged as well and get those communication lines going between, outer cities and how to get in the big city of Denver and how to be successful.
Absolutely. So. When is that road trip?
It's usually in the summer, July, August.
Yeah, so if you go to the CSPR website, if you follow along there or any of our social media channels, we're on Facebook, Twitter, there'll be some more information coming out with some details about the road trips. But like Mary said, it's a way for us to really engage outside of Metro Denver, because there is actually quite a bit of aerospace outside of the Denver area. And so it's a great way to connect and to meet with students, again, looking to inspire the next generation and get them involved. So it's a really, really fun, really engaging road trip.
Yeah, and the first trip is July 9th through the 13th this year on the western slope. So,
nice. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And one of the things I think, because I remember my dad being really, really enthused about space, right? When I was younger, he talked about it a lot, and he got to talk about the men on the moon, right? And then aerospace kind of went by the wayside a little bit. I think we lost a lot of sight on that because we started focusing more on the defense side of aerospace industries, right? And so this is exciting. You guys, we are so close to being on Mars. It's fascinating to me. But what else can we do with CSPR? How can I get involved? Is that something I can be a part of?
Absolutely. So, like I said, if you can follow us on social media, and we would love to engage in conversations and hear what our citizens are thinking. So CSPR is a great opportunity for that. We host several different things throughout the year. Like Mary mentioned, we have the road trip. We also host what's called Aerospace exchanges. So usually a member company will host an event at one of their sites, so you can attend that way. We also have an incredible internship program, a 2-week program for students in high school and college. And Mary's actually led some of that.
It's where they go around, the group of students, for 2 weeks, and they'll travel to a bunch of different companies across the state, and they'll get to, whether it's a hands-on project or talking with HR representatives or engineers, they get to kind of spend a day at each of these host businesses, and that's a really great way to engage the students. So it's growing more and more every year, which is really exciting.
Oh, how fun.
And then, of course, Citizens for Space Exploration is another great way. If you just love space, but you don't feel like you belong to an industry organization, then Citizens for Space Exploration is your avenue.
Yeah, absolutely. They also have a LinkedIn and a Facebook and a Twitter as well, Citizens for Space Exploration. That's on Facebook and LinkedIn, and it's Citizens 4 Space on Twitter, actually. So I'm excited to be hosting that event tomorrow, Colorado Business Roundtable, and we've partnered with Boeing to do that, actually, which is really exciting. But go ahead and give us your website for CSPR if you've got that available for us.
Yeah, it's just www.coloradosbr.com.
All right.
Colorado Space Business Roundtable.
Yes, so coloradosbr.com.
Correct.
Thank you so much, ladies. It has been a pleasure having you on today. And we have Mary Serafin here with us with Sierra Nevada Corporation, and we have Krystal Scordo here with from Ball Aerospace talking CSPR. Be sure to check out their website. And while you're at cobrt.com, sign up for the CSE event. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah.